Hello, hello. Good morning to welcome. Good morning to welcome. Welcome. That's what I'm trying to say. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines, to our delayed broadcast. As I can see, it's so funny. We were not delayed when I was prepping everything, but we are delayed. And this bumps me out. Please know that I am continuing to keep an eye on what goes on with the software, and I'm becoming increasingly concerned because the developer's not giving me any answers. I'm becoming increasingly concerned that my computer is just getting old and it needs to be replaced, which opens up a whole can of worms here at Coffee and Headlines headquarters. But we won't cross that road until we have to. In the meantime, happy Monday, happy 4th of July for those of you that celebrate. And happy Monday. Yes, I had a great weekend. I hope you did too. I'm looking forward to hearing about all your weekend adventures. I have a few of my own, along with a few bits of news that I want to share with you. Of course, as always, we encourage anyone that is joining us for the first time live here at Coffee and Headlines to let us know that you are here. And you can do that by adding the word new to your comment, and we'll be so very happy to give you a nice little welcome. If there's something truly important that you wish to report, please add a capital letter Q at the beginning of your comment so that we can make sure that we bring it up during the comment section. Today, we are going to go through a few news, and I have some show and tell, and then we'll take it from there. So we might as well get started. Come on. Come on. Okay, I'll push the other button. Software is going to be the end of me. Anyhow, last week we reported on copyright authorities currently going after hotels that don't comply with payments required to be able to reproduce music in common and private areas. They went after a couple of hotels, one in Marina Vallarta and one in Nuevo Nayarit. You may be wondering what happens at local restaurants, because local restaurants also play commercial music out of their speaker systems. Well, according to Jorge Carvajal Diaz, who's the president of the local chamber of Canirac, the National Restaurant Association, you are covered. You are all set. You see, Canirac as an organization has an agreement with Mexico's Instituto Mexicano de la Propiedad Industrial, which handles copyright law. Of course, for you to be protected under this agreement, you would have to be a member of Canirac. But, oh my God, that's a great question. And we'll get to that in a second, Rod. We'll get to that in a second. Anyhow, you're probably wondering what goes on at these restaurants. And what probably happened at that hotel, Casavelas, is that the copyright people knocked on their door a number of times and they ignored the warning, and they ignored it so much that the authorities had to come in there. But in case you're a restaurant and you're wondering whether you should turn your speaker off or on, if you're a member of CANIRAC, you should be all set. If you are not, then some people may come knocking at your door and asking if you are paying for all the rights that you need to pay for in order to reproduce live music at your business. But for those of us that are just restaurant patrons, then we don't have to worry much about that. We just have to worry about going and eating. But that's a different story. A lot of food related news today, for one reason or another. And now we're going to talk about these food fairs that set up at the city's main plaza, usually on weekends. They provide traditional Mexican snacks at very affordable prices. And we've mentioned them a number of times. We've also mentioned that according to the law, they are not supposed to happen, at least not in the main plaza, because by the book, the main plaza is not allowed, it does not allow for people to use it for those kinds of shindigs. But they happen. And lately, the local government has been arguing that they are set in place to benefit DEEF, which is the Local Family Development Institute. But one of our city council members, Carla Esparza, is not satisfied with the explanation and is asking Mayor Michel to provide an explanation as to why they continue to exist. And more importantly, how does the money flow from the food fair to the institution? Do the organizers pay a fee, and how much is that fee? How much does it amount to? And all of a sudden we have our weather trying to hijack our news item. Let me get myself out of the way. Hold on just a second. We're not ready for the news just yet. But what we're seeing is just really, really bad delays. My apologies. Anyhow, the issue here is all these food fairs create an unfair advantage and to businesses, restaurants that are in the area, restaurants that pay their taxes, restaurants that pay their rent. And of course, they are not supposed to happen by the book. So I do smell another City Hall scandal brewing, and we'll keep you posted as to what that turns into if the mayor chooses to acknowledge the issue, because this is not the first time that we talk about it. Anyhow, moving right along, let us take a quick look at the weather forecast just to see what's in store for the beginning of the week. Want to decorate your body but can't afford a tattoo? Draw patterns with sunscreen. They lay in the sun all day. Then lay in the sun all day. I've seen that done, and I don't think that's something I want to do. Anyhow, our weather forecast, 29 degrees. Well, our temperature right now is 29 degrees. It's pretty toasty already. Humidity is at 83%, and our Fahrenheit temperature is 84 degrees. And we can expect this for the beginning of the week. Today, a humid and mostly cloudy day with a high of 31 and a low of 25. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we can expect rain and humidity through the day with a high of 30 and a low of 25. And on Wednesday, rain until morning with a high of 31 and a low of 24. So this is what the local weather forecast has to say. Of course, we have additional news about this, and I'm going to set them up in just 1 second. You see, where are my other headlines? Here they are. Let me put this on. We need to move on to the next one, which is this one. There are more concerns, of course, because now we have Bonnie, the latest tropical storm, turned hurricane to grace our coast. As I understand it, tropical storm Grace skipped over from the Atlantic Ocean and is now heading north, skirting the Pacific coast. and its trajectory will eventually point it out towards the ocean, but still, excuse me, Grace will travel close enough to our coast that heavy rains are expected during the week. But that's good for us, I suppose. It's good to have some rain. So now I'm wondering what you guys were up to this weekend. I had a wonderful Saturday and a very, very relaxed Sunday. And and here's how it all started for me. I went to the first Saturdays at the museum, and I ran into my friend Marcia, and we sat around together and talked to a bunch of people and had a really, really good time hanging out. I got a chance to meet some people that regularly watch our broadcast on a regular basis. And then from then, I moved over to Encanto, where I got a chance to enjoy Princesas Desesperadas or Desperate Princesses. I think I've lost track of the number of times I've gone to see this play, this comedy, and it was absolutely hysterical. And of course, something really interesting happened. Well, first of all, this was the first time that I had been to Encanto's theater since it was flooded last year, and it's nice to see that the theater is open to the public again. I had a great time. I laughed so hard, it's not even funny. And at some point during the event, I thought to myself, here I am in a theater that is packed without my face mask and laughing my ass off. And I'm thinking to myself, I am sure there are other people sitting at this theater and somebody must have COVID. I just, just the numbers are such that I am sure there was COVID in that theater. I am sure that I was at risk of getting it again, and I hope I didn't. But I asked myself, am I going to keep myself from going out and enjoying myself? No, I'm not. And are we all going through a risky situation every time we choose to go to a theater or to an event? I suppose we are. But then again, it's a matter of personal choice and it's a matter of balancing risk. There's always been risk in going out on the street. So it's a complicated issue, but it's certainly one that is not going to rule my life. I am getting increasingly excited about going to a symphony concert in Guadalajara, where again, I am bound to be in an enclosed space with a bunch of people not wearing face masks. And I intend to really have a good time doing so. Let me know your thoughts about that. Are you going to venues? Are you keeping your mask on? Are you not keeping your mask on? Are you still concerned, or are you increasingly concerned now that COVID is back, at least here in the state of Jalisco? Let me know in your comments. While I share, I have one more headline, two more headlines that I want to talk about. One of them is about something that already happened, which is, of course, the Mango Festival, which took place this weekend. I understand that the fourth Mango Festival was very successful, and I wonder if anybody checked it out. This took place at the Lázaro Cárdenas Park, and of course, it was a partnership between our city and the Highland Park Sister Cities Committee to benefit a new cultural center in Ixtapa. If you went and you want to let us know how it went, please do so. I'd love to hear about it. And last but not least, this is about a local gal. Her name is Peggy Utter, who makes cake jars or cakes in a jar, and she sells them. I've seen the fact that she sets up shop at our friend Raymond's Artisan Bakery on Wednesday, and I'm curious if anybody has tried them because I've got the munchies for one of these cakes. This week, she will be featuring key lime pie, German chocolate cake, and chocolate cake with chocolate buttercream. And she sets up shop at Artisan Bakery on Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. I will share the post from Facebook where I found out about this information with you. But again, if anybody has any recommendations about her, I would love to read about them. And speaking of reading, it is time to jump into your comments and suggestions and good mornings, which I absolutely love to read. Speak of the devil, Raymond is in Riverside, California. I hope you enjoyed a wonderful birthday in Las Vegas, and we'd love to hear all about it when you come back. Let's see what else we have. Do 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 do. At least Kathy is watching live today, as it is a travel day at the Tour de France for the next 3 days, and she's pretty much unavailable in the mornings. Well, my dear Dan, Kathy and I have that thing in common. We both love spandex shorts. Well, she loves the cycling. I love the spandex shorts. What can I tell you? Let's see what I can see. Ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Lots of good mornings. This is very sad news, Jonathan. Um, an 18-year-old boy was killed in your city last night when a firework exploded in his face. That is absolutely terrible. How very sad news. Rod, you totally made me laugh and smile. And Rod says, where can we all chip in to buy you a new computer so we can continue enjoying your fabulous coffee and headlines? And I'm going to address this one because, yes, it is increasingly clear to me that my 2017 computer is no longer up for the task of doing these broadcasts. The way I see it is we have several choices here. I need to save enough money to buy a computer, but saving $2,000 is not the easiest thing to do. That's the cost of a new computer, 2,000 US or 40,000 pesos. The other option is to come to terms emotionally with the fact that there are those of us that have certain skills, and then there are those of you who have a lot of money, and then there are some of us who don't have as much. And there is nothing wrong, I suppose, in at some point reaching out to the people that have a lot of money and say, hey, if you enjoy this, can you help me make it happen? And this is a tough one. I had a good conversation about this with my friend Julie over the weekend on how it's difficult from this point of view to go out there and just say, we need to raise money. I feel very weird about it, but this is what we've been doing for the last 2 years. Of course, we also have the choice of allowing advertisers into the broadcast, or at least setting up 3 or 4 corporate sponsors to make a new computer happen. I don't know exactly where we want to go or where we're going to go, but please know that number one, having an advertiser-free environment here at Coffee and Headlines has been very important to me and continues to be very important. And number two, please know that while I have been very, very grateful for all the kindness gestures that I've received from you, either through memberships or gifts or donations or coffees, it doesn't stop being complicated and weird for me to say, we need money for a computer. So I just want to put that out there because it's difficult for me to have this conversation. And but it has to happen, and it has to happen soon. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I just figured I would start by putting this information out there just to get the conversation going. And I thank you for listening to that. Let me continue with your comments. Oh, wow. This is really sad news. Velas Vallarta is laying off employees as the situation has not been resolved and they cannot accept new guests. I was under the understanding that Velas Vallarta was opening for business as usual. If they are no longer able to welcome guests, this is really unfortunate, and hopefully they will rectify their situation with the copyright police as soon as possible. Terry asks such a good and important question. Good morning. What's a good way to find out about events like last night's concert? What a great question, Terry. Please let me tell you what I know. Last night, there was a live orchestra concert. It was not banda, it was a santanera, and they played like fun tropical music. This was a politically driven concert that took place on the Malecon, I believe, last night, indeed. I did not find out about this. I did not see anything publicized until Saturday afternoon. And of course, Saturday afternoon is after our last broadcast of the week. The reality, Terry, is that, and I want to get into this in detail because you are fairly new to the broadcast. Quite unfortunately, a lot of events that happen in our city, particularly when they are organized by the city, they are either not publicized or they are publicized with very little information or they are publicized very late in the game. And it is really unfortunate because a lot of times we would want to go to these things and there's no way to find out about them. But trust me, Terry, we try to have our fingers in as many news sources as we can. And we definitely want to make sure that folks like you are able to connect with these events. So I'm sorry if don't have a good answer for you, but we try our damnedest to make the connections whenever we can. Let's see what else we have. Have you been by the new Third Art Mural Museum? Watched it come together back in February and March, but it was not yet complete. This must have to do, Ronald, with the new place that is opening in Emiliano Zapata. We announced it, and I know that it is in progress right now. I know they're going to have an official inauguration sometime this month. And no, I have not been to it, but it's interesting that you mentioned this, Ronald. The same day that we talked about it, I reached out to the artist behind it, and I sent her a note, and I said to her, would you like to attend? Would you like to come into the program for an interview? And she says, I'm on vacation, but maybe in July. And I just threw the ball at her and I told her, if you want to come to Coffee and Headlines for our interview, let me know. And hopefully she will get in touch with us to that effect. Let's see. John comments on employees getting more than one taxpayer-funded salary. Here we call it double dipping. Well, I don't know where here is, but here we call it pinche gente. I don't know what we call it, but I find it interesting and kind of reassuring that more and more of these cases are coming to light because one way or another, this probably means that more politicians or city governments are trying to do things in a better way. Gary says, yes, bad delays today. You should have worked for the campaign. Well, Gary, you know about fundraising. Maybe you can help me put together a campaign to raise money for a new computer. Again, it's so awkward for me to do these things, but we'll see what is going to happen. I'll keep you posted. So, ladies and at Encanto Saturday, she is fabulous. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Luis, thank you for the report. Let's see. Thank you for your comments about my photo with Masha. I actually had a lot of fun doing this. I made just a few days ago. It was easy. It was fun. And it was fun to wear it. A very timely question from Jim. Have you scheduled another meet and greet yet? I haven't, and I'm going to tell you why. Because in our last members-only broadcast, somebody was there in the broadcast and mentioned that they were moving to Puerto Vallarta mid-July. So I made a promise to this nice, I think he was a man, that we would not schedule another meet and greet until after July 20th so that he could attend. And in fact, I had a lovely conversation with Gina Hendricks, who wants to host our next meet and greet. And I told her, let's do it. So it will happen sometime after July 20th. The date has not been set yet. There is also a question of whether we overlap a meet and greet with a meet and greet with the LGBTQ community in mind. As you know, in my mind, Coffee and Headlines has never been a gay or straight project. It's just a project for like minded individuals. So I am inclined to think that what we're going to do is just have a meet and greet with everybody involved and with the understanding that we are pretty gay friendly folk here for the most part, and we welcome LGBTQ friends as well. But again, to answer your question, Jim, it hasn't been scheduled, but it will happen sometime after July 20th. Nancy, it was a pleasure to meet you as well on Saturday. It's such a joy to have people reach out to me and say hello. It is absolutely wonderful. Um, let's see. Da 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 da. Oh no, we threw a birthday party at our place, and our daughter and grandson have posted positive, and Lisa and I are showing symptoms, but have so far tested negative. I tell you, Jim, it's everywhere now, and I suppose we have to get used to this. We have, it's here. This is the new normal. Let's see. Thank you very much for that, Bill. Yes, I was still wearing my plain Jane t-shirt this morning, and I figured I'd better spruce this up. Let's see what else we have. There was a huge crowd at the concert on the Malecon with no masks. I inadvertently ended up in a huge crowd at a neighborhood festival and quickly realized I was not ready for crowds. There you go. We find out about our comfort levels in all kinds of ways. As you know, Gary, there is no mandate to wear masks out in public right now. So it's not surprising for me to learn that there was a bunch of people without face masks in the Malecon. But that does not necessarily mean that we are all ready to embrace that. I totally respect where you're coming from. Karen, oh, I'm so glad somebody else is noticing these things. Thank you, Karen. You know, I am intrigued about those cakes. And I read elsewhere that you have to pay for a deposit for the jar so that the lady that makes them, of course, can continue to have an assortment of jars. I actually have my eyes set on one of those jars because I think that would make nice candle votives to crochet something around. Let's see what else. Uh-oh. Maggie says snark time. Welcome to snark time. I love it. 35% of my employees called in sick today due to COVID. I do mind them choosing to enjoy life maskless. 2 of them are sick too. Second time in 6 weeks. A few more months of this and I might just throw in the towel and move on to other things. Career-wise. Well, yeah, and you were commenting just the other day, Maggie, on how this makes complicated for staff and staffing. I really don't know what to say. It's just it's complicated. Raymond says, Artisan Bakery is proud to partner with Peggy Utter to offer her yummy cake jars on Wednesdays. She's a delightful lady, and the cakes are amazing. Thank you for that endorsement, Raymond. Of course, you would have her at your own shop. You wouldn't if you didn't like her. So this is great to see. Oh, God bless you, Timothy. Can I bring you a new laptop? Well, you know, the good thing is that Apple computer laptops are pretty much the same price here as they are in the United States. They are not taxed. You just buy them at the current rate exchanged. The question, Timothy, is can you pay for it? And I don't mean to put you on the spot. I mean, I need to find $2,000 to get a new computer. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Kate says no advertisers. And Mama Caguamas says you would sponsor. Thank you very much, Sean. I will knock on your door. Because if I end up doing a corporate sponsorship, I'd rather it be businesses that are already part of the cluster. I don't want to open corporate sponsorship to some business that does not even know what this project is about, and for them to have expectations of publicity and stuff like that. No, we don't want that here. Um, does buy me a coffee go as high as $15? Looked like it. I actually have the choice rather, of changing the coffees and changing the memberships, and there are different tiers that I haven't implemented. Again, I'm looking into how this works. And again, this is something that I'm going to get busy with this week. Um, Maggie says, you deserve our support. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Again, I appreciate the coffees and I appreciate the membership. But because coffees and membership take care of our day to day life, like paying bills and paying rent and so forth and so on, we definitely need to do a more specific, separate effort for the computer. Again, thank you very much for your reactions on this issue. They are very much appreciated. Um, Maybe do a poll with those three options: savings, sponsors, or donations. We may not even have to do that then, because I'm looking at your, um, if we're looking at your answers right now. And Jim says if the 100 regular viewers each donate $20, you're golden. That may be the way to do it, and maybe that's exactly what we're going to do. Um, Paula says, I think there are plenty of people on this chat that want to see you accomplish this. Please accept their generosity. Trust me, I will, Paula. And I know that in fact, we were having this conversation on Saturday, Julie and I. There's a lot of money out there. It's crazy. There are a lot of people out there with more money than God. It's just that making that connection is challenging for me. And I know it's my own character flaw. And maybe this is a challenge that I have to embrace and overcome. Another comment against advertising. Thank you very much. We definitely don't want to see advertising here. And thank you very much for confirming something that has been very important. Let's see. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for connecting that, Timothy. I very clearly remember that somebody made this request. We're not moving to Puerto Vallarta, but we'll be there July 19th to celebrate our 20th anniversary. We would love to meet everyone while we're in town. Thank you so much. Well, again, as I mentioned it during our members only broadcast, Tim, we will schedule after the 20th. So that we get a chance to meet you and can get a chance to meet everybody else. Please do me a favor and let me know of an evening after you arrive that would not work for you. Let me know how many days you're going to be here, and let me know of an evening that would not work for you so that we can take that into account. We want everybody to meet everybody. Let's see. David says, if you can wait on the meet and greet until after August 10th, I don't know that we can, David, because I don't know how long Tim is going to be in town, and we kind of have made a promise to him. I will definitely check in with him, but we'll see what we can do. If not, we can have an impromptu meet and greet while you're here. We can see what to do about that. Let's see. GoFundMe for the computer, says Jim. I thought about that, Jim, but GoFundMe is kind of like another type of Coffee and Headlines. I would want to do it through Coffee and Headlines because we are already familiar with Coffee and Headlines. Kathy says, we don't have more money than God, but would love to contribute. Thank you very much. Not a comfortable subject, but you have to know we will support you any way we can. Thank you very much. Can you set up a special new computer for Paco's site so that people can start donating? That way you get the exact equipment you need. Oh, Michael, Paco, I have 200 USD for you, so you only need to raise 1800. Let me know when you need it. Thank you, Michael. Um, I'm actually spending my birthday at your restaurant, so I don't need it then, but I think we're going to cross paths on Friday, so it will be good to see you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Just want to say the cake jars are fantastic. Just saying. Thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for a recommendation. I will definitely make sure that I stop by Raymond's on Wednesday because I want to check out the German chocolate one. I love German chocolate cake. It is really wonderful. Anyhow, this brings us to the end of today's broadcast, and I can see that we're still delayed. Again, I was not prepared mentally or emotionally to bring up the computer issue today, but sometimes just talking about these things is important. You are important. This project is important to me emotionally and financially, and you are important to me. And and yes, we're going to continue to discuss this, and I'm going to continue to keep my eyes, my ears, and my soul open to the gift of learning how to receive, and continue to exercise the gift of giving, which we love to do around here. This brings us to the end of today. I hope you have a great beginning of a week. Stay happy, stay kind, stay negative to COVID, stay negative to monkeypox, stay negative to bad vibes, and just stay open to the universe, as the universe has wonderful things in place for all of us if we learn how to keep our eyes and ears open. Have a great week, and I'll see you again soon.